Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.
Good morning, SKN. I'm begin today with a brief look at the weather. It is mostly cloudy with a 50% chance of showers. The high today will be 86 and the low 66. So it's getting cooler in the evenings, but I don't mind. I don't think you mind either. All right, so we're moving on to the latest right now in local news, and this from the press unit of the Office of the Prime Minister. Prime Minister of St. Kitts and Nevis, Dr. the Honorable Timothy Harris, held brief but meaningful bilateral discussions with non-resident High Commissioner of the United Kingdom to St. Kitts and Nevis, His Excellency Scott Wood, earlier today, Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. Well, that was earlier yesterday, Wednesday, February 2nd, 2022. So during Wednesday's meeting, Prime Minister Harris and High Commissioner Wood addressed a number of matters that both anticipate will further strengthen the relationship between St. Kitts and Nevis and the United Kingdom. The St. Kitts and Nevis Prime Minister impressed upon the need for larger nations like the United Kingdom to champion the voices of small island developing states, SIDS, particularly on matters pertaining to the challenge of accessing concessionary funding in climate change and climate adaptation. Dr. Harris also shared with the visiting delegation the government's progress in revitalizing the economy of St. Kitts and Nevis after the fallout associated with the COVID-19 pandemic. Also on the local scene, products from the Nevis Agro-Processing Center in the Department of Agriculture are performing well, attracting foreign interests. This according to a press release from the Nevis Island Administration. These products generating interest locally and further afield with export to the United States of America on the horizon. So Mr. Huey Sargent, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, made the disclosure on January 31st, 2022, while speaking with the Department of Information. The Permanent Secretary said that mango and tamarind concentrates, mango and sorrel pulp, flour, and cassava and breadfruit chips are doing very well. The Permanent Secretary also said, quote, "We spoke with a lady from the U.S. within the last week, actually, and she came to the island to visit, and she now has inquired of us when we can ship some of these products to her. She has a website that markets exclusive and unique foods, and once our products go through the necessary testing, we have that commitment that we can now be exporting these items." So awesome news on that front. Finally, on the local scene, JNF General Hospital receives private donations from local businesses and recording artists. This from Win Media. Equipment donated to the Joseph and France General Hospital will go a long way towards improving the delivery of health services to residents of St. Kitts and Nevis. In a brief ceremony on Monday, January 31st, 2022, the Ministry of Health received the donations. Recording artist Dejour Alexander donated a wheelchair, while the Next Generation Laboratory donated 9 cardiac monitors and 4 computers. Dr. Cameron Wilkinson, Medical Chief of Staff at the JNF General Hospital, accepted the donations on behalf of the Ministry of Health. When News contacted Dr. Wilkinson following the ceremony, he said the 9 cardiac monitors will be added to what is there already and will be used for monitoring patients' vital signs such as blood pressure, heart rate, and oxygen saturation levels. Wilkinson confirmed that the equipment will be used in the emergency room, medical and surgical wards, and recovery room, while the 4 computers will be for the administrative staff. In regards to the wheelchair, the doctor said it will be used on various wards for patient transportation. So this brings us to the end of the latest in local news. Regional and international news are up next when we return from this brief break. Stay tuned, everyone.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission. If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. Kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll up. Yeah. Cause no man's alone. Do what's right. Alright. Cause I love you. Brother, my sister. And we're in this together. My sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
And we are back on Good Morning SKN, and we're going to take a look at the latest in regional news. This news coming from CMC. Prime Minister Dr. Ralph Gonsalves says Vincy Mass will return to St. Vincent and the Grenadines cultural calendar in March this year. Dr. Gonsalves cautioned, however, that the coronavirus vaccination rate would determine the size of the festival. It was decided clearly that we will have Carnival this year, Gonsalves said on radio program on Sunday, telling listeners and health authoritarians that they would ramp up their vaccination effort over the next 2 months with the hope of vaccinating 70% of their 80,000 people who are 12 years and older. As of Sunday, 669 doses of COVID-19 vaccines have been administered there. Vincy Mass has not been held over the past 2 years as a result of the coronavirus pandemic, which has claimed 94 lives and infected 9,447 others. Gonsalves decided to hold the festival this year, that decision was made in cabinet last Wednesday after a 2-hour discussion with the Carnival Development Corporation. So that's some exciting news. We're returning to a sense of normalcy. I'm hoping to see other carnivals around the Caribbean taking place. In 2019, 2020, I bought a ticket to St. Lucia, paid for a carnival costume, only to hear that carnival in St. Lucia was canceled, and all my money went down the drain.
I thought you got a refund. I was
did
waiting
not.
to hear that you got a refund.
So hopefully my money is still good if they do decide to have carnival this year or maybe even next year, hopefully.
There's a hidden joke somewhere in there.
There's not a joke. There's not not a
There's a
joke.
hidden joke somewhere in there. Those of you who watched yesterday's episodes will know that joke. All right, so we are moving on to the latest international news, and this from CNN Business. ABC News suspended The View host Whoopi Goldberg for 2 weeks on Tuesday night, hours after she apologized for having falsely declared on the daytime program that the Holocaust was, quote, not about race. In a statement, ABC News President Kim Godwin bluntly described Goldberg's comments about the Holocaust, which were made on The View Monday, as, quote, wrong and hurtful. While Whoopi has apologized, I've asked her to take time to reflect and learn about the impact of her comments, Godwin said. The entire ABC News organization stands in solidarity with our Jewish colleagues, friends, family, and communities. Godwin told staff in an internal email, which was obtained by CNN, that the decision over disciplinary matters are, quote, never easy, and Godwin said that she appreciated Goldberg's apology. But words matter, and we must be cognizant to the impact of our words. Godwin told staffers in her memo explaining the network's decision to suspend the actor and comedian. So, yeah, Whoopi Goldberg taking a brief break from The View for comments that she made.
I think sometimes things can be misconstrued. I don't think a lot of the times people say things with ill intent.
Ill intent, right.
Right? But because, of course, you're on TV, it's really quick. Some things can be taken out of context, especially those really touchy topics. So I would put my foot out there, not my neck. I would put my foot out there and said that she didn't have any bad intentions, but of course we have to just be so careful.
Yeah, I don't think she had any bad intentions either. I just think that because it's there and there's a record of it, and also there's a need for sensitivity as well.
Yes.
Because there are people who are obviously incensed by her comments. So that being said, she's taking the time, taking a break to be a little more sensitive. And I suppose it's a good call for ABC as well, because there were calls from celebrities as well asking, for some action to be taken. So, well, that's the end of the latest for now. We'll be back with more Good Morning SKN in a moment. So don't you touch your dial. Stay tuned.
Next, please.
Good morning, Mommy. How are we today?
We are okay. I brought in Bobby to get her first HPV vaccine to secure her from this cancer-causing menace. I'm just trying to make sure my girls have a chance at enjoying life,
You look unsure about something. Are you okay?
I'm a little nervous. My boyfriend found a lump here the other day, and now I'm freaking out.
I understand how you feel, but let's take care of Bobby first. First, let me explain about this vaccine, the HPV vaccine. The HPV vaccine protects both boys and girls. This vaccine can prevent most cases of cervical cancer and some cases of sexually transmitted infections. Mommy, that's it for Bobby. Can we talk privately for a few minutes? It's really good that you told me about your boyfriend finding the lump. I'm glad that you weren't too scared. Mommy, when was the last checkup? Which includes your breast examination and the pap smear.
Honestly, I don't know anything about pap smears. Is that something you do during childbirth? Because if that's the case, I would have done it twice, right?
A pap smear is an examination of your vagina and the pelvis area. It should be done for females between the ages 18 to 69 at least once a year. The World Health Organization recommends that the doctor or nurse that is doing the examination remove the cells from the cervix and check for any abnormal cells, cancer, and the human papillomavirus, which causes cervical cancer. If females get regular tests, anything unusual or abnormal can be treated and seen in its early stages. The girls are being vaccinated before age 13 to reduce the risk of getting cervical cancer. Women tested early and girls vaccinated can help us end cervical cancer. Don't be afraid. It's a simple examination which will be over very soon. Come on, let's get tested.
So nurse, what now?
Let me explain. I'm going to put your feet in these 2-meter stands called stirrups. Your legs will be open, then I will insert my fingers into your vagina and make a check. After that, I'll insert this. When that is inside of you and open up, I can see your cervix better. Then I will use these other devices to help me remove the cells from your cervix and check for the cancer and the HPV. Just relax. It will be over very soon.
Nurse, that wasn't so bad. I thought it would have been very painful.
I am glad your first experience was a good one.
So, when will I get the results?
The results usually return in 3 weeks. You have to come back here to the health center and I will explain. If there's anything abnormal, I will make a referral to your gynecologist.
Okay. Can I get the HPV vaccine my daughter got?
No, I'm sorry, you cannot. The World Health Organization and Pan American Health Organization did a lot of research and found out after persons are sexually active, the vaccine does not work as well.
So what's the best way to prevent me from dying from this HPV?
Just what you did this morning. Early and yearly screening for the HPV virus and checking for changes in the cervix with the pap test.
How do they know they're not sick?
I know, it's really sad. In 2014, 1 in 4 women in St. Kitts and Nevis were tested positive for one high-risk type of HPV. And in the last 10 years, the number of women with cervical cancer has increased.
See what I mean? But it's good that you could get the pap test, the HPV vaccine, and the breast checks all at the same time.
Yes, share what you've learned with your family and friends. We in the Ministry of Health are encouraging women to come and have these tests done every year because cervical cancer can be effectively treated if detected and diagnosed early. So let's both do our part. It's time to end cervical cancer.
You see that new boy that just joined the school last week? He brought me a chocolate this morning because I showed him the way home from school yesterday.
You like him?
No, he's just my friend. Plus he is my neighbor. He asked me if we can walk home together for lunch tomorrow and I told him yes.
I don't like these big boys. They tend to like to touch girls without your consent.
What do you mean by consent?
It's when one person agrees to give permission to another person to do something.
He is cute though. Guys, you won't believe what happened the other day with the new boy from school.
What happened?
The other day, while walking home with the new guy, he followed me into my house. I thought it was okay because he seemed friendly and respectful. So I turned on the TV and offered him a soda. We sat in the chair together. Then he leaned over and kissed me. I was so shocked I sat up straight and asked him why he did that. He said he thought I liked him. I told him not in that way.
What? Girl, you should have never allowed him inside your parents' home. My parents will be very angry if they meet any boys in our home plus kissing me.
Guys, we don't need to be burdened down with teen pregnancy and relationship problems at this time. Boys need to understand that girls are not sex objects.
Remember, you have the right to consent to every activity being performed, from holding hands to anything more, and to change your mind at any time. If your partner does not respect your wishes, this also is a form of abuse. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492. Special Victims Unit 662-7077. Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
And you're watching Good Morning SKN, and we have our first guest in studio, finally. But that's a little backstory. Anyway, let's begin. Food security is a major concern for many, especially since the pandemic began. Many remember when the pandemic first struck, many individuals panic shopped and the supermarket shelves became empty. And I remember this, especially with the toilet paper. As a means of building our immune system to withstand COVID-19, we were advised to eat more fruits and vegetables. As part of efforts to strengthen food security for all, the Ministry of Agriculture, Fisheries and Marine Resources has been distributing seedlings since Monday, 24th of January. Today, we welcome Sheriff Flanders, Head of the Media and Communication Unit at the Department of Agriculture, to tell us more about this amazing initiative. Good morning, Ms. Flanders.
Good morning.
Well, it's interesting that you're here on set with us because I know you're normally in this seat.
I know it feels kind of strange that I'm on the other side. I'm usually over there,
Yes.
but I love it. I love it.
Okay, so is this the first seedling drive that the Agriculture Department has employed?
Well, we've actually had an initiative that was quite similar before, but not to this extent. And you know, when people hear that it's free, everyone is going to run to get it. And because this initiative is something that, of course, came at a time when we have the global pandemic, it's even more important now for people to understand the importance of what this is and what this means. Yeah.
So you've actually ramped up the distribution. So this is what is different from the previous project?
Pretty much. And we have a lot more items as well that are being offered. So we have cabbages, cauliflower, we have lettuce, we have my favorite sweet corn. Yes, and you know, the thing about it is I feel like people having more options makes it even better. Yeah, so yeah, I think that's why people are really interested, besides the fact that it's free.
I think free is enough.
Yes.
But can you tell us why these particular fruits and vegetables were decided upon for the distribution?
Well, yes. Importantly, the thing is, we have a market. Farmers are actually sometimes producing goods, commodities, as we say, that, you know, could be saturating the market. And so we wanted to ensure that these particular seedlings are not items that were already out in abundance. And another one of the seedlings too is broccoli. I forgot to mention that. And not many Kittians, in my opinion, see broccoli as a vegetable that is very popular. You know, we eat more pumpkin and sweet potatoes. We eat lettuce in our salads, you know, and that sort of thing. Actually, even kale is one of those things that we really don't, you know, see as a popular. Exactly, right. Exactly. And so we have our own fresh local lettuce seedlings that we're offering. So, you know, this time around, it kind of gives people the opportunity to eat foods that they've grown themselves and that are not quite popular on the market. And of course, it's healthy, so why not? You know?
Let's talk about the groups of people that you're targeting now. So I want to draw a distinction between backyard gardeners and farmers and ask you whether you have drawn that distinction in distributing the seeds.
Yes. When we first started promoting this drive, it was important for me to specifically state that this is for the backyard gardeners, not farmers, but the backyard gardeners. And the backyard gardeners could literally be you or I, because we garden in our backyards. So it's really open to those persons who are very much interested in gardening in their backyards. Yes.
So not farmers?
No. You are a backyard gardener. Yes. Yes.
Okay, so is there a limit to the amount of seedlings that a person can receive?
Yes. Well, at this time, you could get at least a quarter of the seedlings that are being offered, and that could be anywhere between 20 or 25 in the particular trays that we have that are being offered. We've had persons who called all frantic because they wanted to know, am I going to get all of everything? But you have to make a specific choice of what you would like, and then you'd get a quarter of whatever that is. And of course, it's free, which means that everybody's going to want all of all that is being offered, but that's not going to be possible. So we have to be reasonable about the distribution as well at the same time, because we want everyone who registered to get something. Yes.
All right, let's talk a little bit about quality control. In relation to the seedlings, let's say, for instance, and I'm hoping that you've guarded against this, I'm sure that you've taken measures, but if, for instance, they are overrun with pests or anything like that, can the backyard gardeners come to your department to seek help in dealing with that?
I'm so happy that you asked that question, because this would allow me to give shine to the amazing staff in the crop programs, the crop program that is at the Department of Agriculture. And so if you are a backyard gardener and you've received any of our seedlings and you're having some issues, whether your plants are not growing the way that you expect them to, or like you said, maybe there's a pest and you have no idea what to do and you're panicking and you're not really a green thumb like me, then you get to contact the department, 467-1831, and you will be sent a technical officer who they take your information and your address, of course, and then they would try to meet your needs as soon as possible. Yes, so we are actually offering technical assistance, because we don't want to leave people hanging.
Right,
yes.
right.
Yes.
I was even thinking, do these seedlings come with instructions?
Yes,
because
yes.
I know in the pandemic, or because of the pandemic, some people would have started gardening like for the first time.
Yes. Yeah, like me, as I was saying, I had no idea what I was doing,
But you have a green thumb.
But I'm trying. I really don't. I don't know. Every plant that I touch, it dies. I don't know why.
You're going to have to work on that.
I'm trying, guys.
That's not good for marketing, by the way.
I'm trying, but I mean, I would not be giving them advice. Thankfully, we have a department full of experts who would be able to give the advice that, of course, they would be, needing. And so we are going to be offering the technical assistance that they do need. And we actually, just yesterday, we were having discussions, and one of the things that we thought was, for those persons who like having instructions, perhaps that's something that we could think about. Actually, when you come and you pick up your seedlings, you'd probably get a cute little note. Yes. If it was up to me, it would be very cute. But you'll get a cute little note with instructions as to how to grow and nurture the seedlings that you receive.
I think that's a great idea.
Yes.
So we're actually going to take a brief commercial break. You're not going anywhere.
No. Not yet.
So I'm hoping that you also don't go anywhere. So stick and stay. We'll be right back after this commercial break. Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders. When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer. When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms,
please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Greetings, my lovely people. I'm Chantel, residing in Taiwan. 12 hours time difference. It's nighttime here, morning time in SK. I'm busy and on the go. However, I always manage to keep up to date with what's happening in SK. All thanks to Good Morning SKN. Good morning SKN. Ciao, bango!
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
When growing your savings, where you save matters more than you think. Dare to compare and see for yourself why you should start saving and investing at First Federal Credit Union. You don't have to settle for cents. Let your money make sense. Reap a higher return by stashing your cash in a high-yield savings account or term deposit and earn up to 4% interest on your money. At First Federal, we say yes.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
I wear a mask because I want to protect my child, but also I want to protect his classmates and his teachers.
I wear a mask because I care about the frontline workers who will have to work even harder if those around me get sick.
I wear a mask to protect my family. I wear a mask to protect you. I wear a mask because it is the right thing to do.
I wear a mask because I don't want to put any vulnerable individuals at risk, like my elderly loved ones.
I wear a mask because
we are all in this together.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. We're talking with Shira Flanders, head of the Media and Communications Unit at the Department of Agriculture, about the current seedling drive. And this just gets me very excited because we're talking all about the drive, but I do want to know what the demand is like. I'm certain our viewers want to know if, hey, can I get some more of the seeds? Since you said it was so extensive.
Oh, man.
Availability?
Yes. Okay, so we do have seedlings available, and so far we've had about 355 persons register. I know. Insane, right?
That's a lot.
355 persons have already registered for these seedlings. So I'm assuming you'll be 356.
Yes. Yes, I will be.
Yes, quite a number.
What about, can you tell us about the demographic? Is it more men, women? We had a guest on last week or so, and she was talking about female in farming and backyard gardening and how those numbers were increasing. So I'm wondering if it's related.
At this moment, no, I don't know if it would change after today. But so far, I've been told that we've been seeing more women.
Wonderful.
Yes, of course. We're eating healthy, Eat healthy 2022. Thank you. But yes, so we want to encourage more men to also register because we kind of want a little of, both male and females to get on board and join the drive. Because eating local, eating healthy is for everybody, right?
So remind us again how we can register.
Okay, so if you are not already registered, you can go to the Department of Agriculture that's located at Lagreed, and you'll go give your name, give your contact information, you'll give your address, basically whatever it is that is needed for us to keep that data, and then you will get a call, perhaps maybe 5 to 6 days later. On a weekly basis, we try to garner as many of the seedlings as possible, so that everyone could get the seedlings. Because as I said, we had 355 persons, and we don't want to give 355 persons all in one day. I don't even think that would be possible, but we'll try as much as possible to see how many we could give on a weekly basis. And actually Monday coming, we'll be able to give over 100 persons more seedlings. So hold your cell phones tight, because we'll be making lots of calls for you to come and collect your seedlings. Actually, I was in the shower this morning and I was practicing, and I was saying, you get a seedling, you get a seedling. I really want to be there to see all of these people get their seedlings, because I myself, I was so excited about it, because I couldn't believe we had over 300 persons in such a short space of time register for these seedlings, which is a good thing, because it means that our people are interested in growing their own food and eating healthy as well. Yeah.
I'm stuck on the you get a seedling thing, because I'm going to call you the Oprah Winfrey
of
seedling distribution.
Oh man,
Not quite a car, but
yes.
So I was made to understand, or we've been made to understand, that there's some new seeds. As the daughter of a farmer, I really should know more about this.
Yes.
But can you tell us more about these new seeds?
Yes. Okay. So really, really exciting news. We have 2 new varieties of commodities that should be ready about in the next 2 weeks or so, next 2 to 3 weeks. And we have what most persons may know as squash pumpkin, but it's not actually pumpkin. It's more like a squash. It's a winter squash, that is. And the funny thing about it is, it's a squash, but it's kind of like the size of a small pumpkin. Yes, so it's cute and it's delicious. And the thing that is, of course, most exciting to me is the fact that because of the size of the squash pumpkin, the affordability is something that people are, going to gravitate towards more. Now, that does not mean that you won't be able to get your regular pumpkin that you get, because I still love my very orange sweet pumpkin. But at the same time, on days when you feel like, you know what, that pumpkin is really too big, and my family is really small, I think I'll go for the smaller one. And if you want to splurge on yourself at the end of the month, grab a big pumpkin. Grab a big pumpkin, So that's one of the things that is being offered. And then we also have, what do you call it? We have the squash pumpkin, and at the same time, we've also been talking about a specific type of lettuce and sweet corn. But the sweet corn in particular is the new variety that is being offered at the Tabernacle Outreach Center. So you want to run to the Tabernacle Outreach Center as soon as possible, because in the next 2 to 3 weeks, I know persons like myself are going to hoard the sweet corn, okay? Sweet local corn. As much as possible, if you can get your hands on it, you should get your hands on it. And at the same time, we do have items that are being offered at the department for sale. Now, not everything is going to be for free. So we have other seedlings that we are offering, and we want to make sure that persons understand that they could get their pepper, their eggplant, tomatoes as well can be offered at the department at a very small cost. Yes.
You're making me hungry. You're making me hungry. We're going to take a brief break, and we'll be back in a moment with Shira Flanders to continue this discussion.
Has anyone ever touched you here, here, or here? Well, these are actually bad touches, not good ones. And so, if anyone ever touches you in these areas or anywhere else that makes you uncomfortable, you must say no, then go and tell. Say it with me. Say no, then go and tell.
This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with Probation and Child Protection Services, the Ministry of Health, and the Pan American Health Organization.
Self-health management refers to the measures people take to manage their own health. You and I should remember to wash hands often with soap and water, or use alcohol-based hand sanitizer. Avoid touching your eyes, mouth, and nose. Take your temperature morning and evening. Watch for symptoms. Persons with diabetes or hypertension are reminded to take your medication regularly as prescribed. If you have no symptoms, you may carry out your normal routine and boost your immune system. When you are outside, avoid public spaces and wear a mask at all times. If you develop symptoms, put on a mask and seek medical care. Do not take public transportation. Inform the doctor of your travel history, any contact with confirmed or suspected cases, your occupation, and whether anyone around you has similar symptoms. If you become ill, please rest at home. Wear a mask and isolate yourself from others in your household. If you share a bathroom, disinfect daily using 1 part bleach to 10 parts water. Everyone must work together to reduce the spread of the coronavirus.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN, and we're still talking. We have you here hostage for a little minute.
Yes.
With Shira Flanders, and we're actually going to do something really fun. We're going to get our hands a little messy today, which I'm excited about.
Yes.
So can you tell us what we're actually going to do and what seeds are we planting today?
Okay, so yes, this is a tray that we have right here, and my favorite, the sweet corn. Okay, so I'm going to do my best to show you how we plant our little sweet corn. Okay, so for me, I have smaller fingers, so I use my finger when I want to make the little hole. And of course, I already have what we call Promix right here in the center, which you could purchase at the Department of Agriculture. You put your little finger here, not too deep, and then you take your cute little seed and you plant it, and you scoop, 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 you cover it up, and you take some water. We have some water here, and then you spray. Oop, come on, water. Okay, there we go. You don't want to give it too much. You don't want to give it too little. We're going to do another one here. So you make a small, cute little hole, and you could put it in. Yeah. There you go. Scoop, scoop, scoop. Nice. Okay, professional. We got a backyard gardener on our hands. You give it some water, and you let that sit. And I think within about 2 weeks' time, you'll be able to see your cute little plant. It'll be about this height, bright and green and lovely. You could try one. You try one. So you make a cute little hole. You get your sweet corn.
I think Mimi's already used to this here.
Yeah, I know, right? Such a professional. And then we add our water, because of course they need water, and sunshine.
Yes, and we have lots of sunshine.
Lots of sunshine, yes. Nice.
Wonderful.
Yes.
So anybody can do it.
Of course, it's very easy.
I mean, this is the easy part.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, this is the easy part.
True.
It does get a little bit more challenging.
It gets more complicated as the time progresses.
Correct.
But of course, if you are already into gardening, you would know that. And if you are just, starting out and you're learning as much as you can, whether that's via YouTube or you call the department, like I mentioned earlier, to get assistance from the technical persons who are there, you know, you'll do this like it's nothing. You'll do it like it's nothing. Yes.
For sure. So can you tell us again how persons can register? Is there a number that they could call as well?
Yes. You call 467-1831 and you give your name, you give your contact information, and you will be directed. The easiest way, though, I would advise you is to actually go to the Department of Agriculture that's in La Grite and give that same information as well. And you will be receiving a call maybe about a week after you gave your information so that you could collect your seedlings.
I want you to do me a favor because we have participant number 356 here, right? So if you see her, you just send that mugshot for me as proof, and we can show that.
Why would it be a mugshot?
I'm sorry.
We'll be keeping an eye out.
Photograph me. Ms. Wanders, I do want to thank you for stopping by. And again, great initiative, the Seedling Drive, Seedling Distribution Drive. Awesome to have you here in the studio as well on this side of the stage.
Oh, it's been a pleasure. I know, right? I really enjoyed being on the other side, honestly.
Well, I know it won't be the last time, at least not for us.
Yes.
You're watching Good Morning SKN. More in a moment. Stay tuned.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Bless up, Dejo here, and I'm doing my part in the fight against COVID-19 by following all safety protocols and most importantly, rolling up my sleeve for the vaccine. So I'm encouraging you to do the same because that's our best shot of protecting ourselves, our family, and our friends. So don't wait, vaccinate. Let's roll up to roll out.
Yeah. I know we can make it. It's only just a phase. Once we're vaccinated, and everybody gonna be safe. Everybody gonna be one safe. Kind, yeah. One people. We are roll up to roll out, yeah. Cause no man's alone, do what's right. Cause I love you, brother, my sister. And we're in this together, my sister, my brother. I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much. I think it's better for us, yeah. It's better for us. Hey, I don't wanna lose you. I love you too much, yeah. It's better for us. Tell your mommy to roll up to roll out.
You ever hear Earthquake call and say, "Hello, Miss Lee, yes, it's me, Earthquake, I coming Tuesday around 10? No, sir. Earthquake does arrive unannounced, and when it come, it shake all sense and sensibility out of we. Remain calm, stay inside, and do the DCH. Drop, cover, hold on. Once the shaking starts, you know it's earthquake. Make a quick move to a safe place. Don't run to the door, we are in the exit. Stairs might block up or full of people. Elevator, avoid that, because you might get in and poof, power gone, and you're stuck in that box without ear. Take cover under a strong table or a bed, or crouch against an inside wall or in a corner, and cover your face and your head with your arms. Remember, DCH, drop, cover, hold on. Glass windows and doors, outside walls and doors in an earthquake, bad news. Take care yourself. Most injuries during earthquakes happen when something drop and hit people entering or exiting a building. Last thing, nobody run outside and ask, you feel it, you feel it? Remain calm, stay indoors until all the shaking stop, and do the DCH, drop, cover, hold on.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. Christina Powell's is the literary pseudonym of Lorraine Woods, who was born in St. Croix, U.S. Virgin Islands, but now resides in St. Kitts with her Kittitian husband and her daughter. Lorraine's love of history and knack for storytelling lead her to take readers on a journey that goes far beyond the beaches of the Caribbean and straight into the hearts and homes of all who open the pages of her books. Lorraine uses her pseudonym, Christina Powell's, to provide a genuinely unique perspective and playfully addresses issues that some may shy away from. Join us in welcoming Mrs. Lorraine Woods to Good Morning SKN. Good morning, Mrs. Woods. How are you doing today?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Oh, it's our pleasure. It's our pleasure indeed. So the very first thing that I'm sure that our viewers want to know is, why write under the pseudonym of Christina Powell?
A lot of people ask me that. I think, well, I write under a pseudonym because the name represents a part of me that most people don't know about. So that's why I chose to write under a pseudonym.
So is that part of you an author?
Excuse me?
Is that part of you the author?
Yeah, exactly. That's the author, Christina Powell's.
So when did you become interested in writing?
You know what? I always loved literature in school, and I love storytelling. My mom used to take us to plays and live storytelling events. Sometimes my father would have us act out scenes. I guess those occasions made it like kind of awaken in me that desire to write stories. So ever since I've known myself, I've been writing short stories.
Your latest novel, All the Guts Are Running, was released in June 2021. And we're going to take a look at the book trailer right now.
Okay.
So that was the trailer for your 2021 book. That's interesting for a trailer for a book. That's pretty interesting. What did the creation of the trailer involve? And is this something that people often do?
It's a lot of work, and yes, a lot of authors are doing that because it kind of whets the appetite of the reader, so they know exactly what to expect. We had to think about the vibe of the story. This is romantic suspense. I thought about the protagonist. In the beginning, I wanted to have Pepper's Aunt Ceci be, prominent. And then later on, we spoke about or showed Pepper in the trailer. My sister, she is into advertising and marketing, so she was really the one who provided the platform needed to create the mood that I wanted using the images and sound.
All right, so I'm a little curious because you've definitely whet my appetite as to the story of All the Guts Are Running. So what can you tell us by way of a synopsis without giving too much away?
Okay, well, it's really about a young bank manager, Pepper May Thornton. She gets this request from her elderly aunt to come to St. Kitts to check out a company that her aunt has a great interest in. along the way, Pepper has to find out, ways to get the information she needs without getting caught. And then she meets local people, befriends them. They help her get the information she needs. And she also meets another bank manager whose name is Damien Finch. It's a physical journey. Pepper is taking a physical journey to St. Kitts, but she's also taking an emotional journey. And it's also an emotional journey for the other main characters as well.
Okay, so the book is set in St. Kitts, as we've seen. And St. Kitts has been your home for quite some time. So what about the island, outside of the guts, that inspired you?
St. Kitts is a beautiful island. I remember the first time I flew over, I was just fascinated with the sugarcane stalks waving back and forth and the immense mountains in the center of the island. It was enchanting. The people, the culture, that was different for me at first, but I've come to appreciate so many aspects of the island. And so I try to bring those same feelings into the book.
Well, that's amazing. I'm fascinated by your story. What we will do now is take a brief break, and we'll be back to talk with you a little more in a moment.
Let's face it, most parents or guardians don't want to think about their teens having sex, let alone contemplate the possibility that they might get pregnant or get someone pregnant. Teenage pregnancy is a situation that involves female adolescents. A teenage female can be pregnant as early as age 12 or 13, although it is usually 14 and older. The fact that teenagers become pregnant is related to many factors. Here are some tips to decrease teen pregnancy. Teach teenagers comprehensive sex education. Target messages at teen boys, not just girls. Get the whole community involved. Encourage mentoring, parental involvement, and support. This message was brought to you by Project Viola through the Department of Gender Affairs with support from the Basic Needs Trust Fund and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
And welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We're speaking with Lauren Woods. In the literary world, she's known as Christina Powers. And before we took a break, we were talking about her 2021 release, All the Guts Are Running. And now we're about to talk about another one of her masterpieces, Trade Winds of the Heart. So Trade Winds of the Heart, I think I like All the Guts Are Running because I could picture guts running. But this is also a very interesting name. How did you come up with it?
Well, it is a unique name. I wanted a title that would immediately connect the story to the Caribbean. And of course, we're very familiar with the trade winds because they bring the hurricanes and the tropical storms our way. It was actually my husband who came up with the title, and I loved it when I heard it. There's something interesting about the trade winds, though. When they collide or they converge, they create this area called the doldrums, and there's a calm. And I think that represents really well how the main characters have these twists and turns in their lives, but then they converge and then there's this calm when they get together.
Mm-hmm. Mrs. Woods, now we have the pleasure of not only seeing your book and, of course, hearing the words, but we're going to hear some of the words of Trade Winds of the Heart from you. So I'm going to invite you now to read briefly for us, please.
Okay, I'll read an excerpt of one of the times that Kayla and Richard bump into each other. They do that a lot. And this happens during a local event in St. Croix we call Jump Up. It says, Richard glanced over at the colorful carts across the street where Kayla was dancing alone. She had a natural rhythm that fascinated him. He tried desperately to resist the urge to cross over, but he felt as if the winds were steering him in her direction. Eventually, Richard gave in to the flow of nature and said to his posse, I'll be right back. He left Jennifer standing on the sidewalk talking with Clay and Adriana in front of a clothing store and strolled across the street. As Richard got closer, he recognized the sweet scent of juicy berries floating around Kayla, and his mouth watered. The fragrance reminded him of the summer sangria berry crumble that kept him going back to a cozy little bakery in Davenport. The kidnapper making her wrongs, I see, Richard said, hoping she would hear him over the loud steel pan music. Kayla picked up a musky, citrusy floral scent and looked around. It was the guy from Paradise Mart again. She remembered that he had already called her a kidnapper when they spoke in the cafeteria at the hospital. You don't look like you mind being held hostage, Kayla said and snickered. I saw you wrapped up a few minutes ago. She looked Richard in the eyes. He knew it. She did spot him standing outside the jewelry store on Strand Street. Wrapped up? I'm just here hanging out with a few friends, Richard said, raising his left palm at her as a sign of honesty. 2 friends and 1 kidnapper, Kayla threw out, raising a brow. You're too much, you know that? Richard shook his head and smiled at her. Just then, the band struck up Pressure's song, Virgin Islands Nice, and the crowd went crazy. People started dancing and scanting in front of the cart, pushing Richard and Kayla over on the sidewalk and blocking the way between the cart and the shop where the rest of Richard's group was waiting. Of course, you'll have to get the book to read the rest and find out what.
Of course.
Of course.
Of course.
I'm so enthralled by your words, though. I have to say, I was hooked on just about every line.
Okay, that's good.
And I saw, the play on the trade winds coming through in that particular excerpt. So excellent writing, I have to say.
Definitely. I think I smelled the fragrances and I think I heard the steel pan music in my head. So absolutely amazing. So again, this book was inspired by an island, St. Croix.
Yes.
Can you tell me a little bit more about your inspiration? And also, have you ever thought about books outside of the islands? I know that you're an island girl. I'm an island girl too. Mm-hmm. But have you ever thought about any other locations?
Well, I'm from St. Croix, as you know, and, Crucians value their West Indian culture, although we are part of the United States. So sometimes the mixture of cultures presents some social issues. And I address that in the book. It was fun doing it, actually. I have considered different types of settings, but you know what? I think for right now, I feel the Caribbean has a lot more to offer than sun, sand, and sea. Mm-hmm. So I'm enjoying focusing on that. But I'm not averse to other types of settings, though.
Do you have any other books in the works? If so, what can you tell us about that?
Actually, I'm working on my 3rd novel. It's about to go into the hands of my editor, the manuscript. I'm just doing some self-editing right now, making sure I cross my T's and dot my I's. It is going to also be based in St. Kitts because the inspiration is from someone who I met when I came here to live in St. Kitts, an amazing woman. And I always said to her, I want to write your story. So that should be coming out soon too.
How exciting, real life stories. So you also have a reading journal. Can you tell us some of the features that this journal has?
Yes, the reading journal. I love it. It was created by a friend of mine who's a book marketer. Mm-hmm. So visitors can go on my author website, ChristinaPowles.com. They can download it, and there are tons of features. I even encourage parents to use it with their children because there are features, for example, about where authors could make or readers can take a note of the books they've read. They can even rate it, like how many stars they give that book. They can even make a note of books they want to read. And I have 2 of my favorite features of the reading journal is places I've been through books and book quotes I love. I love quotes. So I love that one. The journal is free and it's fun to use. So anybody can go on my site and download it.
We've been speaking with Mrs. Lorraine Woods, also known as Christina Powles. I want to thank you for taking the time to share your work with us. I can feel your passion. I'm certain our viewers can as well. And I can't wait for the release of your 3rd book because I want to know more about that character that you're going to write about. So thank you very much for joining us today.
Thank you so much for having me. It was fun.
All right, we'll be back in a moment with more Good Morning SKN. Everyone, stay tuned.
Hey, my friend, what going on?
Not a thing. I just here cooling under this tree, about to eat a mango or 2.
Where you get mango from all now?
Boy, Auntie Rose bring me some mango this morning.
Oh, gosh. What you hit me for?
You give me something to put on?
Girl, you can't just come tempting me with these juicy round pally mangoes and expect me not to want some.
Just because something looks appealing and you want it, doesn't mean you are entitled to it and that you should touch or take it. Your mother ain't teach you manners. Ask for consent first before you touch up the mango them.
But why ask? And if it's there, just take it. Why ask?
Simple. If it is mine and you ain't asked for it, it is called, wait for it, stealing.
That's true. My bad. Okay. May I please have some mangoes?
I don't know. After that spectacle, I ain't sure I want to give you any.
You see that? But I ask.
Just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give. It is still my mangoes.
So what you tell me ask for then?
Because consent is everything. Had you asked first, I would have been more inclined to give you one. And just because you ask doesn't mean I have to give you. You got it?
Okay, I got it. Now, may I please have some mangoes?
Only because you're my friend and I like you. But that still don't mean you're entitled to it.
Okay, I get it. I get it.
Good. Don't leave your mango skin on the ground, eh?
If you understand the importance of asking for someone's consent for a mango, then it shouldn't be too hard to understand consent when it comes to sex. The power of consent is everything. Ask first. If you or a friend has been sexually assaulted, please call 465-5000 for the counseling center.
This message was brought to you by No Judgment SKN and sponsored by the Basic Needs Trust Fund, the Department of Gender Affairs, and the Caribbean Development Bank.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
No cash, no card, no problem. Dad, embrace the freedom.
Good morning, this is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Stacey Martin Lifestyle is a Canadian eco-conscious luxe loungewear apparel company that pushes the boundaries of fashion. They do this by effortlessly bringing the gap between fitness and fashion clothing. The founder, CEO, and designer, Stacey Martin, is a Black Canadian female entrepreneur with Nivision heritage who is based in Ottawa, Ontario. With a mission to bring female and Black, Indigenous, and people of color leadership to the forefront, Martin brings something unique to the Canadian fashion industry and the global space of elevated luxury loungewear that can transition from home to office to an evening out. We warmly welcome you. I know it's cold out there where you are, so we warmly welcome you, Stacey, to Good Morning SKN to learn more about your brand and more. So welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I appreciate it so much. I'm happy to be here.
Wonderful. So your most recent launch, was a limited edition fall 2021 collection that was said that artfully captures the richness of your Nivision heritage. So we'd love to hear about that.
Yeah, so I had a collaboration with Nevis Tourism Authority, and
Wow.
really the reason why I wanted to do that is to bring attention to the islands, to North America. I live in Ottawa, Canada, and people don't know my heritage. Whenever people ask me where I'm from, where my family's from, my mom was born in Nevis, my dad was born in St. Kitts, and whenever I speak of either of the islands, people don't know about them. So I wanted to be able to link the brand to the culture of what St. Kitts and Nevis is and my heritage as well, and really to be more of an extension of how you feel when you're there. You guys live there, so for you, it might not feel like a big deal, but for us as travelers going to the island, the feeling and the sentiment that we get of comfort, of freedom, of escape, of sustainability, and all these incredible things, I wanted people to be able to feel that through the clothes, not so much what they see in the clothes, but more what they feel.
All right, so there is this particular line right now that comes to my mind. Go there, remember where you wore me. And I know that this
Aw.
means something to you. What can you tell us about that?
Yeah, so as I was building the brand, I was looking at what the tagline was going to be and what the mission and the purpose was going to be of the brand. And I really wanted it to be about going there. So many times, especially women, my target market is predominantly women between the ages of 30 and 50 years old. And I find a lot of the times that after they finish schooling and they've been married and they have kids, they sort of get stuck in this area where they don't really know what their purpose is or what their mission is anymore. So I wanted women to be able to go to this place that feels absolutely incredible, whatever you've dreamt of in your life that you've always wanted to do, that you can still know that it's possible to still do it. And then in the physical sense, I want you to go to the islands. I want you to go to
Great.
travel and escape and learn about new cultures, to actually experience what it's like. And no matter where you are, to remember where you wore me. So whether it's a mental space that you can say, I wore that piece and I was doing a talk on Good Morning St. Kitts, or you were doing or you were actually traveling to a place that every time that you wear that piece, it really captures a memory and allows you to remember where you were.
Well, I'm absolutely in love with the tagline, and I'm in love with how you're selling it to me. You're doing an excellent job. And I love that sentimental value. Like, I love the idea of putting on something and remembering being on a beach in Nevis, just relaxing, living my best life. Amazing, amazing marketing. So kudos to your marketing team.
Thank you.
So how many pieces are there actually in the collection?
So in the collection, we did 9 pieces for this first round. So it was a really a small capsule collection, only because we just launched, or we got funded. We did an equity capital raise that ended in May. And so we basically built the brand in 5 months, the concepts, the clothing, the designs, and then we were able to launch in November.
Wonderful.
So let's talk a little bit now about your partnership with the Nevis Tourism Authority, and particularly J.D. Nyarnd, who was the CEO of the Nevis Tourism Authority at the time when you launched Stacey's new collection is a real love letter to Nevis, and we're so pleased she's chosen to reflect her heritage through this beautiful new range of clothing, and that's what she said about your work. What were your thoughts on that quote? Was it, a feeling of coming home of sorts?
It was. I always say that every time I fly in and I land in Nevis, it's like magic. And you can't really explain what that is, what that feeling is, especially coming from someone in North America who generally travels when it's really frigid cold outside over here. But when you arrive there, it's just this feeling that it's magical, and it feels so effortless and so beautiful that I really wanted to bring that sentiment to North America. And, when I had I went to St. Kitts and Nevis to pitch to have a collaboration with both islands, and I would still love to have a collaboration with both. And I remember when I was pitching just to do a fashion show on the islands, that was all it was at the time, was to be able to bring people from North America to the islands to experience what it's like to be in this amazing place that people don't know about. So when I met with J.D. and she heard my story, she knew I had done New York Fashion Week, she saw my concepts in the brand. She said, you know what, Stacey, this is the time to bring this here. And she told me, just do it big. whatever you do, make an impact. And I thought that was so important to me to hear, because that's exactly what you need, especially being a female entrepreneur.
For sure. And you mentioned something about New York Fashion Week, and I was made to understand that you had a brand, Kania Couture Inc. Am I saying the name right?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. That was launched in 2009, extremely successful, and you did present at New York's Fashion Week. Did you transition to the brand that you have now, or are two of them still running?
No, I started Kenya when I was a Broadway dancer. So I used to dance on Broadway in New York City, and then I did a lot of film, television, and commercials. I'm petite, but I'm curvy, and I found that anytime I would go to auditions, I didn't have the proper clothing to wear. So I started the brand called Kenya, and it was very successful for years. And then in 2020, I realized that there was such an importance to bring attention to female leadership, to Black leadership, and people could not pronounce the name Kenya. Kenya is a word that means light. It's actually from Ghana. My husband's Ghanaian, and the word means light. And I wanted to never allow anyone to dim your light. That's what the concept was. But people would call it Kenya, Kanaya, Kenya. They would call it all sorts of different names. So I thought this is the time for me to change it to Stacey Martin Lifestyle. So essentially, it just was a name change. The actual intellectual property of the company was really good, and the infrastructure was good. So we just changed it from one to the other.
Well, we are going to continue this conversation with you, Stacey, on the other side of the break. There's so much more to talk about. Stay tuned, everyone. We'll be back in a moment.
Thanks.
Good morning. This is Carol from Lux Carnival, and I listen to Good Morning SKN.
Everyone is encouraged to adopt a healthy and positive approach to daily life. Here are a few friendly reminders.
When you go to the local market and food vendors, remember to maintain a social distance of 6 feet or 2 meters apart. And always wear your mask.
Always keep your hands clean. Wash your hands with soap and water, or use an alcohol-based hand sanitizer.
When dining, choose restaurants with staggered seating. This will lower the risk of transmission.
If you have a fever, cough, or other respiratory symptoms, please wear a mask and seek medical care immediately. Rest at home and do not visit the food vendors, local markets, or restaurants.
Welcome back to Good Morning SKN. We are continuing our discussion with Stacey Martin from Stacey Martin Lifestyle. And now we're going to delve into when Stacey does her bit to preserve the environment. Stacey, what can you tell us about your initiative to carry out eco-conscious activities in your business?
The main reason is that fashion is one of the most polluting industries in the world. People and fast fashion, I should say, has become just a disposable thing. People would just buy a piece of clothing and say, I'm going to wear it to this party or this event or whatever, and just throw it out when it gets a hole in it or whatnot. And I just thought there's so much waste. The landfills are being filled with clothes, and I just didn't want to be able to add to that. I obviously love fashion, so I want to be in the fashion industry, but what can I do to make that landfill not get bigger? And so what we did is we have all the clothing styles are made out of eco-conscious materials. So they're all fabrics that are either organic cotton, rayon from bamboo, eucalyptus fiber. All the materials are natural. It's also good for your body because you can feel how good the fabric feels against your skin. So it's not kind of casing you in like plastic. Also, we decided when we're not gonna have any single-use plastics in the company at all. So even the little tag gun that normally holds the clothing onto the pieces, we have only an organic cotton kind of rope that holds the tag on. The packaging that comes when people purchase pieces online, We made sure that it comes in a cotton bag that's not a plastic bag that's going to just, once again, go to landfills. So any area that we can use to actually make the carbon footprint better is what we really wanted to instill in the brand.
Okay, well, I think that's absolutely amazing. I love it. I love that you don't have any single-use plastic bags, and I hope that that inspires us here in St. Kitts and Nevis to speed along on that direction. So where do you even source these materials, and does it, increase the price of your goods?
Yeah, it is a little bit more expensive, but the whole idea is that I don't also want it to just be disposable where you're buying things really inexpensively just to throw them out. I want you to be able to buy that piece. And like I was saying, that I want you to remember where you wore me. I want you to have a piece that you cherish and that you love and that you're going to wear for years and years and years. All of our fabric is, well, the materials, I guess, are made from overseas, the bamboo and whatnot. The plants are from overseas, but some of our fabrics are milled here in Canada. So we actually have 2 fabric mills, one in Montreal and one in Toronto, and it actually custom mills all the fibers. And our manufacturing is done here in Canada as well, mainly in Montreal and Toronto. And so it's really just bringing also that I can know how the pieces are made. So there's a social consciousness as well, that it's not just made from sweatshops, people who are not being treated well. You know, I'm able to see who makes the pieces, how it's made, test the quality, that sort of thing.
Very excited about what I'm going to ask you about next, which is your contribution to a Navision community organization. And I'm understanding that the bags that you sell your materials in, 100% of the proceeds will go towards a Navision community organization. So tell us about that. Are the bags already on sale? You know, if not, when? And have you decided which community organization will benefit?
Yeah, so we do have a cotton bag, like I was saying, and it has a Stacey Martin Lifestyle name on it. And so the idea with that was to be able to say, if we actually had the bag for sale, that 100% of the proceeds would go to an organization in Nevis. The organization has not been selected yet. We haven't said exactly who it's going to, but we do know that the bag will be launched. We have a collaboration with a company called Canopy, and Canopy is a sustainability initiative company that's here, actually it's here in Canada. And so a lot of big brands have partnered with them just to do initiatives, and they're doing the actual launch of us being part of that on February the 9th, which would be also probably around that time where we were going to be selling the bags.
Oh, that's amazing. That's entirely amazing. It's so nice to see, you know, you giving back, even as you rise to the pinnacle of your success. Often you don't find that, and I'm really glad that you have found a way to link it back to your Navision heritage. It's very commendable, Stacey.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, so let's talk. Yes, let's talk a little bit about your. Was there something that you wanted to say, rather?
No, I just said it's important because I feel like on my rise, there was no one that I can actually look up to that helped me, you know, and I feel that you have to give back in order to get back. And I feel like if I can always continue to give, whether it's to give to humans to help them to be entrepreneurs themselves, give to females to have more empowerment, give to the environment so that we're not putting, you know, more strain on, you know, pollution, that to me just makes it a better company.
And I mean, I'm looking at these photos and I realize that you also model as well. I think I saw your face there.
I don't really model. I'm a model in the clothes, but I don't. I had a modeling agency for a long time ago, but it was really just performing arts. And I think just by being in front of the camera, I'm naturally, I know what I want to kind of instill and convey when I'm taking a photo. So that's why I ended up doing a lot of the photos as well.
That sounds like a model to me.
Thank you.
So your Go There collection is designed to marry luxury and lingerie. Don't really hear that too often. Can you tell us a bit more about that?
Of course, because fashion is amazing. You know, when we think about fashion, we think about these gorgeous pieces, but so many times the pieces are uncomfortable.
Very.
And when you see a woman wearing the clothes, you're like, your dress is so nice, but you look like you're suffering, you know? And I thought, to me, the beauty of a woman is when she feels good, when she's exuding this thing that you can't even imagine what it is. So I wanted to make the clothing that it's loungewear. It feels like you're wearing your pajamas all day. You feel so comfortable in your clothes that you can actually go towards what matters most. You can do the things that make you feel alive. You can move, you can feel comfortable and not be restricted by your clothing. So I really wanted to marry these two things together because I feel like there's tons of fashion clothes and there's tons of fitness fashion, like lounge kind of clothing. But what is in between, where you still want to look good and polished, but then you want to be comfortable at the same time? And that's what Stacey Martin Lifestyle is.
Well, sign me up, please.
All right, very quickly, we want to talk about your brand promising to be size positive. So in that, I understand that you're not dealing with a normal small, medium, or large. And you've actually talked about why that's important to you for a little bit. But what can you tell us about the actual sizing?
Yeah, so when we were designing all the sizing, we decided to change the names from regular extra small, small, medium, large, extra large to baby love, true love, pure love, real love, one love, more love. And we wanted it to be an extension that you can love your body, your current body in the state that it currently is. I feel that there's so much negativity that women portray on their own bodies. And, you know, there's a tagline that we have and it says, "Dear body, I'm sorry for all the times I told you I hated you. I love you." Because what it is that our bodies are doing so many incredible things that we don't even think about on a daily, but then we're always beating our bodies up saying, we wish it was something else or it was, you know, and I thought I want to not focus on the number. I don't want to focus on the fact that you're extra small or you're medium or you're large or extra large. I just want to focus on loving your body. So we gave them all love names. So for example, a pure love, I'm wearing a pure love right now, and a pure love would be sort of a small size, but you can be bigger and wear it, or you can be smaller and wear it. And the whole idea is that you can just love the current body that you're in.
Again, Stacey, I love everything about your brand. I think everything is so well thought out, and I could feel the love and the passion that went into it. Absolutely beautiful, absolutely inspiring. Unfortunately, we're at the end of the time that we have here with you this morning. Again, it was a pleasure. Can you let us know how we could follow you on social media, as I need to be following you like yesterday?
Yeah, I'd love for you all to follow. You can follow my personal handle at designer Stacey Martin. That's Stacey Martin. And the company handle is at Stacey Martin Lifestyle, and that's both on Instagram. And we do ship internationally, and our website is staceymartinlifestyle.com.
Thank you, Stacey. The pleasure has been ours. Thank you so much.
Thanks
Best
for
of luck
having
to
me.
you.
Really
You're welcome.
appreciate it.
All right, more Good Morning SKN in a moment, everyone. Stay tuned.
I am Lucille Pemberton Vaughan. I am health educator and counselor in the National AIDS Secretariat within the Ministry of Health. We have launched Operation Safe Streets, Safe Sheets, and this is done in collaboration with the Traffic Department. Everybody should be tested and know his or her status. You cannot have your status and not know your partner's status. Initially, when one gets infected, there are no real symptoms. However, during that period, within the first 6 months, some persons show signs like flu-like symptoms. Presently, there is no known cure. However, there's treatment, antiretroviral treatment. This treatment actually keeps the virus in check and prevents it from causing havoc on the immune system. HIV and AIDS can be transmitted to 3 main ways. Mother to child transmission, meaning that when someone is pregnant, that mother could pass it on to her baby in utero, and also during labor and by breastfeeding. Infected blood products like sharing needles and if you have blood transfusion, and finally unprotected sex with someone who is infected. How could this be prevented? Simple as ABC. A, abstinence. Abstinence is still an option. B, be faithful. If you have one partner, stay with that partner. And then third, and I think most importantly, is condom use. The C is consistent, correct condom use. So we are encouraging the public to come and get tested. The test is free, it's confidential, it's reliable.
Happy Valentine's Day, everyone.
Happy Valentine's Day.
Happy Valentine's.
Happy Valentine's Day when it comes, everybody.
I want to wish everyone happy Valentine's Day when it comes, and remember to protect yourself.
I would like to wish the general public a happy Valentine's Day. Love is protective, so protect yourself and protect others.
It's been 6 months now and Glenn hasn't been working. His attitude has completely changed and he's been leaving the house every day for hours and liming with his friends and coming home drunk and causing confusion.
Gloria, this is what you cook today? This is not enough food for a big man like me.
But Glenn, it's been 6 months now. You haven't given me any money to shop for food.
Okay, so what you want me to do if my boss ain't called me out for work as yet?
Look for a different job now.
What you just said to me?
Get a next job.
What?
Help! Let me
Let
go!
go what? You just see what we at me. Let go what? Watch your mouth with me now.
Every day mom and dad fight. When are they going to stop?
Domestic violence is not just physical, it's mental, emotional, economical, and psychological. If you, your friend or family member is being abused, you can contact one of the numbers listed below for help. Department of Gender Affairs 662-5492, Special Victims Unit 662-7077, Counseling Unit 465-5000. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Ministry of Health and the Pan American Health Organization.
Where are you going? I just mopped the floor and now the chair leaving marks all over the place. Come on, go in bed, see? Sometimes I just can't take you on.
Violence is expressed in many ways. Most, unfortunately, go unreported or unaddressed for many reasons. If you or someone disabled is being abused, contact the police at 465-2241, social services at 467-1314, or the St. Kitts Nevis Association of Disabled Persons at 465-2151, 663-9077, or 663-4116. This message was brought to you by the Department of Gender Affairs in collaboration with the Pan American Health Organization, PAHO.
And we're back on Good Morning SKN, and this morning we're actually going to invite you as we jump into the time machine with us as we look back at some of the most popular romance movies with black leads. So here they are. I don't think I remember all of them, but let's see. Poetic Justice, and this was in 1993. I would have been transitioning out of Pampers, maybe. Well, no. Doing something else, sorry. Still grieving after the murder of her boyfriend, hairdresser Justice Janet Jackson writes poetry to deal with the pain of her loss. Unable to get to Oakland to attend a convention because her car broke down, Justice gets a lift with her friend Leisha, Regina King, and Leisha's postal worker boyfriend, Chicago, Joe Torre. Along for this ride is Chicago's co-worker Lucky, who is played by Tupac Shakur, to whom Justice grows close after some initial problems.
And we do have a trailer for this movie. Again, Tupac even looks so young there. Have you guys watched that one?
Yeah, I did.
Do you remember it?
A very long time ago. There was one particular scene that I remember. It was one particular scene. As you said yesterday, it might be better for nighttime than daytime. The commentary, though, was quite interesting. I think it was Regina King's line when they were in that van and they were being transported. Yeah. So those of you who watched that movie know what I'm talking about.
Do you remember?
No. To be honest, I don't remember the movie at all.
No, I don't. I know the name, but I don't remember.
Yeah, the name is familiar to me, but not. No.
Yeah, I remember the movie. Definitely remember the movie.
Right. The other one that we have is The Best Man, and this was in 1999. After writing a soon-to-be best-selling novel, Harper Stewart, Taye Diggs attempts to hide the fact that his saucy new book is loosely based on the lives and loves of his tight-knit group of friends. He's a rat. Harper is said to be the best man of his friend Lance's Marsh Chestnut's wedding, and all of his friends will be in attendance. When an advanced copy of the book makes its way into the hands of his ex-flame, Jordan Armstrong, who's played by Nia Long, Harper attempts to keep it under wraps. And we do have a trailer of that one as well. Let's see if that jogs my memory. Oh, Nia Long is fine.
Taye Diggs too.
And you don't remember that one at all?
Too.
I remember it vaguely.
Vaguely? I watched the movie. I tell you, I watched the movie. It was on VHS. I had the VHS.
VHS. Like, so, what is it? Jamie, can you explain to us what is a VHS?
If you remember what you were doing in 1993, this is a 2012 movie, you ought to know what VHS is.
No, but I'm letting you tell the young ones what VHS is.
You guys don't know what VHS is?
The cassette.
Video cassette.
Yeah.
All right. That's what used to happen in 2012. Yeah, that movie was actually quite interesting. In fact, I do remember the plot. I do remember the disaster that needed to be avoided at the wedding. I do remember the revelation and everything that came with it and the resolution that came at the end. So, very good cast of characters as well.
I remember the fight.
Oh, yeah.
The most memorable part was the fight. Yeah.
That was the most memorable part?
Yeah, to me, the best friends end up fighting.
You forgot, what was her name in the film? Chelsea. You forgot Chelsea and how she was hooking up with one of the friends? And they were like at odds with each other.
Daytime TV. Just remember it's daytime TV.
What did I say?
Remember.
What did I say?
That's for the night.
Daytime TV.
What did I say?
And there was a sequel in 2012, The Best Man Holiday. I think I remember that one more.
Yeah, Friction.
Okay, so we're moving on to our other movie, Love and Basketball, which is a classic, and that was in 2000. Monica and Quincy are two childhood friends who both aspire to be professional basketball players. Over the years, the two begin to fall in love with each other, but their separate paths to basketball stardom threaten to tear them apart. Yeah, this was an iconic one. I remember this one.
Love and Basketball?
Yes. Did you watch that one?
Of course I watched that one. I also had that on VHS, so I don't know
wow,
where you guys
Jamie had a VHS library.
Actually, no, it was on DVD. That one was on DVD.
Okay.
Take it back. That one was on DVD.
So, Jamie, do you still have VHS?
I actually do. I don't throw it out because I figure at some point it might be something that
worth a lot.
Of course.
Oh my God,
works,
smart, smart idea.
And it works.
Yeah,
I still have it.
eBay.
Right. I don't even own a DVD. You remember when they used to have those portable DVDs?
Yep.
Cortensi, when this trailer is done, you're going to tell us about the next one since I'm off limit. Mimi says I can't say this stuff.
Mimi has banned him from saying.
Yes, it's actually offensive, but okay.
Not in the name of the movie, and that's what I was playing on.
Diary of a Mad Black Woman, 2005. After 18 years of marriage, a lawyer, Charles Steve Harris, Helen Kimberly Elise is shocked when he announces he's ending their marriage and shacking up with Brenda, Lisa Marcos. Helen retreats to the house of her grandmother, Medea Tyler Perry, who helps her destroy much of Charles' property, earning her house arrest while Charles prepares for a trial of a corrupt client. Helen is courted by Orlando Shamar Moore, an affectionate, moving man with strong Christian values. I remember this one for sure. Yeah,
I remember this one.
This was the iconic Medea movie.
Yes, it really
was. But was Medea not a mad woman?
No, she wasn't. Yes. She was just doing things because she was hurt.
Was Helen not a mad black woman? She had every right to be mad, but was she not mad?
No.
She destroy
Where
his
so
property.
you could say Mad Black Woman for the title of this movie, but in the real world, it's offensive to say Mad Black Woman. But yes, I remember this one.
The title
and
was
actually, the man who acted the bad husband, like, there's no movie that he can act in, and I'm not like, I hate you.
Well, he's an angry black man.
Yeah, I can't. He acted it so well that he can't. He can't do anything else for me. And I think when I watched that movie first, I really enjoyed it. But after I watched it again, like older me watching it, I was like,
Pretend so you know what happened here? You're going to side with me on this. What happened here is that anybody that was, let's say, antagonizing Shamar Moore in that movie or set at odds with Shamar Moore couldn't do it for Mimi. So it didn't matter who played that.
But you know that some people who act a role that well that you cannot see them act
in any other thing.
movie.
Yeah, she's correct.
Yes.
I have to agree with her on that because when you see him, you just remember that.
Exactly.
Yeah.
This was one of his breakthrough movies, and like, this is all you are.
Yeah.
A bad husband.
So Jamie, you can do this one. It has nothing to do with a mad black woman.
Oh my gosh, you guys are terrible. You guys are batting me from saying that. That skit from yesterday, by the way, that skit from yesterday is probably going to go viral by the end of it. All right, so here we go. Think Like a Man 2012. For one reason or another, 4 male friends, Dominic, Michael Ely, Jerry Ferrara, Michael, Terrence J, and Zeke, Romani Malco, just can't seem to seal the deal with the women in their lives when their lovely ladies buy a book, that dreaded book. I had a friend who bought that book. Buy a book by Steve Harvey and start to apply its advice to their relationships. Yeah, I remember this. This band of brothers gets all shook up learning that they have been betrayed by one of their own. Dominic and his friends conspire to use this book's teachings to turn the tables. And that was the thing, because when I watched this movie and I realized, okay, Steve had all of these rules that women should follow. It gets them that type of guy. And then the guys realize, this is what you're looking for. I can play the part. So you might think that you're getting the guy that you want, but you're getting the guy that knows what you're looking for.
Yeah, so he pretends. Yeah. He pretends.
You remember that one?
Yes, I do remember that one.
Oh, you're very quiet over there.
No, I do remember that one. I'm trying to figure out if I'm concerned if he's pretending or not. If you could pretend for 50 years, sure. Why not?
Wow.
Be exactly what we want you to be.
Even if it's not coming from your heart, who cares?
Wow.
All right, well, we'll talk about this some other time.
Please do.
I'm happy that this is my second to last, so I don't have to talk about this again, actually. So we're going to take a brief break. We're actually going to go on to what's happening. So make sure that you stay tuned. You're watching Good Morning SKN.
I'm here to say kids, Nevis, with the name for us I represent for the Ministry of Health. Yeah. Respect the COVID protocols. In a time like this, all for one for all. St. Kitts Nevis. Don't forget your mask. Wear it everywhere you go. Sanitize before and after everything you do. Cause you never know what's on the surface of the places to go. Maintain a safe social distance between me and you. Keep calm and stay focused. Don't be a fool, seek the facts first. And boost your immune system up. Don't wanna lose no more of us. Mask up, sanitize. Observe the protocols all about. Be wise. Mask up, sanitize. Me family fitting boat.
Blessed love and greetings. This is Infamous, and I am here to encourage every Kittitian and Nivision to remember that we have our part to play in the fight against COVID-19. So sanitize, wear your face mask, practice social distancing, and go and get vaccinated. For me no know about you, but me love think it's bad. Easy no man.
All right, and we're back with your final segment here on Good Morning SKN, where we find out what's happening. All right, so number one, the Trainer Kite / Bonfire event is happening. The Ross Kite Boarding Club, a relaxed and fun-loving group, along with Leslie Ann, will be hosting a Trainer Kite session at the Marriott Vacation Club on Friday, February 4th. That's tomorrow at 5:30 p.m. Kites will be flown until sundown. Oh, that's going to be nice. And there will be a bonfire after. All skill levels are welcome, and it is a great event for beginners as well. So this is a fundraiser event, so drinks and food will be on sale. Hey, have you guys ever been to a bonfire?
Yep.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Tell me
I've never
about
been kiteboarding, though.
it. Never been? No?
Have you ever been kiteboarding?
No. Never been to a bonfire either.
What?
So you can get you from one here.
Yes. So, Jamie, we should sign up for sure. I would definitely like to try skydboarding. That sounds kind of fun.
Yeah, that sounds kind of fun.
Okay, what's next on what's happening?
Talks and Barks Grooming Pop-Up Shop will be in Nevis on Saturday, the 5th February, at the Nevis Animal Speaks Clinic for grooming from 10 a.m. to 3 p.m. There are limited spaces available, so call or WhatsApp 763-4283 or 762-3537 to reserve your space. Kindly note that strict COVID-19 protocols will be followed. Mimi.
We don't have any pets.
I don't have any pets. I'm not allowed to have dogs.
You're not?
No, and I love dogs. My yard is too small.
Oh.
You're not allowed to have dogs. Ah, yeah. Mimi had a dog. She gave it away. It was over the fence.
I sold him. So it was for economic benefit. And it was also for the benefit of himself as well. My landlord didn't like dogs.
Oh.
He was a Shih Tzu.
A little one? Oh.
And he also didn't hear, like, he couldn't, he just wanted to do his own thing.
We have 2 dogs in Antigua, and oh my god, Rex tore up the yard.
Exactly.
Every part of the yard, he tore up the yard.
Exactly. So my landlord wasn't a big
Charlotte
fan.
was a peach. Rex was a
To
terror.
any of this. You see what's going on here
So
when the girls get together?
Never had a dog at all?
I had a dog. It was a brown. We called him Brownie, but I stayed with him for about 3 to 4 years of my life. I was smaller. And I had another dog. I think I told you the story that got knocked down, and nobody believed me that it got knocked down. They made it back home, and they thought that I lied, and it ate my homework, and my teacher thought I lied. So hey, my love of dogs just goes right down in the tank right now. All right,
dogs are the best.
When they learn how to pick up their own poop, then we can have that negotiation. We can have that conversation again. Another thing that's happening is a paint and sip with Miss Sue at Michael's Burgers, and that's just across the street from us here on Studio 327. On Saturday, February 5th, Miss Sue will be painting the Southeast Peninsula starting at 4 p.m. at Michael's Burgers. All art supplies, step-by-step instruction, and a glass of wine will be included in the cost of $80, just $80 per session. To reserve your space, message Miss Sue on Facebook at Paint and Party with Miss Sue. And have you guys ever done a paint and
I did. Yep. So I'm a Picasso.
You are? Yes. Come
you should have been in that segment when we were designing. Well, I'm Picasso. Maybe you're Picasso times 2. I don't know.
Maybe. Let's just say maybe, yeah.
But yeah, paint and sip is always a good time. And it's always so amazing what you could actually do with the right instructions.
Yeah, I never knew I could have done that. I was surprised. Like, I actually did it. It was one over at Spice Mill with Sasha the artist. And I was like, wow, it's so easy. We painted Nevis. Yeah.
So it was Nevis.
Yeah, we painted Nevis. Yeah. So it was
Where's
really
the proof? You gotta bring the proof in.
Next time. I promise you I'll bring it. I promise you I'll bring it. So we painted Nevis, and then we painted a table with a glass on it looking over.
That sounds like a masterpiece.
You know we're big on proof here, right? Because I still want to see that photograph.
I'm gonna bring my proof. Don't worry.
You know, we need documentary evidence, right?
Yeah.
You guys at home want to see that too, right?
Of course, and I will show it to you.
So we'll be looking forward to seeing your painting. Jamie, you could bring a painting that you did. Have you been to a paint and sip, you said?
No, I said I haven't.
But
not
have
that
you did any
can't
art
tell.
pieces?
I am not that kind of artist. I'm telling you the
What
truth.
type of artist are you?
I'm the kind of artist that there's a hidden joke here. I just got a prompt here, and we were joking around about the dance moves in the studio. So I'm a little better than the swivel dance move that I was doing apparently on the chair. That being said, no, more of the quiet type, quoting type. There's a personality trait that goes into that. So not really extroverted. Not that you can tell that.
No, we can't.
But you sit in the room and you work for hours and do those sort of things. But artists do that too, don't they?
Yeah.
Yeah, do you do that? Because I know that you have some skill. She had some skills that she was keeping from me until Liska came on the show. And she said, you know what? I used to be in art class with Liska. And when we did that segment with the girls from Bold Carnival, I saw
Yeah, it came out again.
It was a very rough sketch, but thank you for being so impressed.
If that was rough, I do not want to see a good up sketch.
No, that's fine. So yes, different activities for this weekend. I know it's not quite Valentine's Day yet, but you could always take part in something that's really, really fun.
Yep.
Hey, guess what, guys?
Pre-Valentine celebrations.
Do we have time to loosen up?
Oh, yeah, we always have time to loosen up. We're getting in the groove, right? So you guys at home, hope you're feeling it as well. So yesterday we shared with you some tips on how to have a successful friendship. And today we're going to discuss the essential elements for, I love this one. Don't know why I'm the one who's actually bringing this to the audience, but anyway. Essential elements, am I convincing enough for you? For romantic relationships. So like platonic love, romantic love, which is known to the Greek as eros, is extremely complex. And many cannot wrap their heads around this, I love that, mystifying experience.
Like water.
It's a mystery, is it not? So here are some tips. Oh, we got tips, Mimi. We got tips, Hortensia. Some tips on the elements that you can employ to have successful relationships.
I would like to see the tips,
I
please.
thought we had tips. Apparently, we are the tips.
We are the tips.
So
That's
1, 2, 3, go.
I would like to see the tips, please. Asking for the tips. Please.
Anybody
Anyone out there?
Anybody at home who has
Any
those
experts?
tips, Studio 327A. Hey, if you've been married for 50 years and it works, let me know, right?
I mean, being married for 50 years doesn't necessarily mean that you have a romantic relationship.
You have to have some sort of relationship. And it evolves.
No.
I think love evolves, over time. It evolves.
Agreed.
Yeah, it does.
It evolves.
Right.
You work with it.
But they said romantic love, so romantic
It's so
love
romantic.
is still different.
Why can't you be romantic with somebody that you've known for 50 years?
No, I'm not saying that you can't. I'm just saying not in every instance where people are married for 50 years means that they're involved in a romantic relationship.
Oh, that's depressing.
It's not depressing. Some relationships are businesses, so financial arrangements. Yeah.
They are. You didn't know that?
It's not that I didn't know that, but we're allowed to say stuff like that. I'm joking.
No,
guys.
but it's the truth. I mean, a marriage is a business, and some people get together because they collaborate on business ventures and stuff like that together.
Oh my gosh! Listen, I don't want you to daunt our younger viewers
There's
here.
nothing daunting about the
I see the look. I see the look on this poor guy's face right now that you guys at home can't see. His eyes are open. He's like, "What are you talking about?"
Listen to Auntie Mimi.
I've got this fantasy.
Sometimes, no. Let's come out of the fantasy world and let's come into the real world. Romantic relationships are lovely, but all relationships are not romantic. Sometimes people could be married for 100 years and they're friends, or they could not even be friends. But because it's a business arrangement, they stay together for the business. Sometimes people stay together for kids. They're not in love with each other, but we have a kid raising, and that's important.
Yeah, but we're supposed to give them tips for a successful relationship, not scare them off.
No, that's not scary, Jeremy. If I know that I'm getting into a relationship because it's a business, I'm more well equipped to deal with that.
All right, you see what's going on?
Okay.
I got you.
Let's talk about romance.
But you see what's going on here? This is where we draw the line, because, traditionally, and I like that you're a realist. I love that your Cortenta is looking at me like, oh, what is he going to say? What is he going to say? She's looking for the foot and mouth thing. Here's what we have going on here. Traditionally, and this is great that you guys are realists. I love it. Traditionally, we see it depicted on television, cartoons, whatever it is. The young girl is playing with the doll. She's waiting for her prince to come, and she's thinking, oh, this is going to be my knight in shining armor. Cinderella needed somebody to save her. Rapunzel, the same thing. There was this knight in shining armor. We have those stereotypes. I love that you are moving away from those stereotypes. Let me say that.
Very
but
good.
I just did.
I love
3
that
times.
tangent you took. Thank God. Because we don't need anybody to save us, actually.
I just did 3 times. No, we know you make your own. Oh, well.
Right.
I keep going back to yesterday. But anyway, yeah. So, yes. Independent women, that's great and all.
Yes.
But I do believe that there are things that relationships give. And I find sometimes that we tend to be a little cynical, because there are people who want that kind of life. There are people who have that kind of life. And they know what works. It's just that we don't see it a lot advertised in the media. We don't see those things like Angela Bassett and her husband who've been married for over 20-some years.
Yeah.
Those stories
Denzel
don't
Washington
generally
and his
get
wife
coverage.
too.
We get the breakup. We get the cheating on. We get all these other things
Yeah.
going on there. And there are people out there who are actually having successful relationships.
Yep.
So what are those tips for successful relationships? I think
Go ahead, Jamie. Tell us the tips for successful
I don't know if there are tips,
romantic,
but I'm gonna throw it out.
successful romantic relationships.
I'm going to throw it out there,
Okay.
and I'm going to say one of the first things is that you have to keep that mystery. Not only because you know someone, I've heard married people say this as well. You can be married to somebody for so many years, but you might not necessarily know everything about them. That's not a bad thing either. A little bit of mystery keeps you intrigued because you might be thinking, hey, I know everything about this guy, is so boring. Oh, you're fascinating, you're Shamar Moore. And your eyes start to wander.
But we don't think that our person is boring.
Oh, you don't? Sorry, I don't know. I don't know. I'm just giving you my perspective.
Okay, that's Jamie's tip.
That's one.
He likes a
2,
mysterious
3.
woman. That's fine.
Nice. I love the way you paraphrase.
Right. That's fine. What tips do you have? You're actually married. So
I am for 3 years now. Yeah.
The
biggest, and I don't know if Alicia would agree with me on this one. The biggest thing I've learned in marriage is communicate. Because we're 2 individuals coming together and we think differently. And we speak differently because we're from different countries, we're from different culture. I'm Guyanese, he's Kittian. So he doesn't understand sometimes how I put things over. And I don't get it how he put things over. And I'm very assumptive.
Okay.
Yeah, so that's the biggest thing that we have right now dealing with, the assumptions, because I shouldn't assume, I should ask a question, and I don't like ask a question because I live in my head a lot. And I think people pick that up, get out of your head. So communication is the biggest thing. The biggest thing,
really important
the biggest thing in marriage.
Listen, this is a drum roll, because we're actually going to get Mimi to give a tip on.
I'm going to give a tip, and I'm going to give a cynical tip because here we are.
Because you're anti-me.
I'm going to give a realist tip because I live in the real world. I think, as you said, communication is great, and I think this ties into my my point is that people should be transparent about what they want from their relationships. We're talking about romantic relationships, and the truth is that everybody is not looking for a romantic relationship. Everybody's not looking for a long-lasting relationship. Everybody's looking for marriage. Some people are looking to date. Some people are looking to have children. So up front, I think at the beginning of our relationship, when we're courting, find out what exactly do you want from me? What exactly do you think this is going to be? Where do you think we're going? Do you want to have kids? Do you don't want to have kids? Do you want to live in frigate bay? Do you want to live in camps? Because I believe those things that we think are small and not important actually turn out to be really, really big deals as we go along with
because we hide it. I don't think most people go in relationship as their authentic selves. I actually think we just go in playing nice, and then eventually
exactly.
Guys.
So we need to be ourselves.
Guys,
we need to be ourselves.
I get
and we are telling, but we are giving good advice.
Where is the
There's nothing gloomy about being yourself and being honest. There's nothing grim about that. I think as soon as we get to learn what we want and what we don't like, the smoother the relationship.
Exactly. Guys at home, come on. You look at me right now, okay? We're going to talk a little bit here. I really need to know if we think that this whole discussion was just about mechanics, because it's a little textbook here.
Long-lasting relationships are about mechanics. It's really nice to fall in love. He's so dreamy. He's so cute. He's so amazing. But he doesn't wash his socks.
We're going to get back with you on this discussion tomorrow. We got to wrap this up.
No, we're not.
Thankfully, we have to wrap this up.
Yes.
Thankfully, we have to wrap this up. All right. So I want to thank you for joining us today for another edition of Good Morning SKN. I swear to you,
I'm
these
like
days,
Scar on Lion King, the bad guy.
you never know what you're gonna get
to me, not
when
to
you
you.
tune in, right? So keep following us on our social media platforms, including Instagram, Twitter, Snapchat, even TikTok. And our handle is, of course, easy to remember. It's Studio327 Inc. So like, subscribe, and follow us, and leave us a comment. Let us know what your idea is of a romantic relationship. I really want to know what you guys think, what you girls think about, what you women think, what you married people think about everything that we discussed.
We want to know what
here.
you men think.
Yeah,
So
what the men
let's see where we fall on this question. That being said, we will
See you tomorrow at 8 a.m. here on Good Morning SKN.
bye-bye.
Good morning.
Morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, SKN.